amounts of amazing grace, rising with the dawn and heading my way. Every day the Lord displays amazing amounts of amazing grace. Amazing amounts of amazing grace, rising with the dawn and heading my way. Every day the Lord displays amazing amounts of amazing grace, amazing amounts of amazing grace. I've known blessings and favor that I know I don't deserve, way too many to number. They show up at every turn from the hand of my Savior. Oh, the kindness of my King, I will thank Him forever. Everywhere I look I see amazing amounts of amazing grace, rising with the dawn and heading my way. Every day the Lord displays amazing amounts of amazing grace, amazing amounts of amazing grace. Heaven's goodness won't run out. There's no limit to His love. There's no question and no doubt there will always be enough in the valleys and trials that my sovereign God allows. He is faithful through each mile, every single time I found amazing amounts of amazing grace, rising with the dawn and heading my way. Every day the Lord displays amazing amounts of amazing grace, amazing amounts of amazing grace, rising with the dawn and heading my way. Every day the Lord displays amazing amounts of amazing grace, amazing amounts of amazing grace, amazing amounts of amazing grace, rising with the dawn and heading my way. Every day the Lord displays amazing amounts of amazing grace, amazing amounts of amazing grace, rising with the dawn and heading my way. Every day the Lord displays amazing amounts of amazing grace, amazing amounts of amazing grace.
Woo. Well, welcome to Stories and Songs with the Down East Boys. We're so glad you tuned in with us. Hey, stay tuned. We got a special guest today. Todd Tilgham is in the house. You're going to love it. Come back and be with us.
Hi, friends, and welcome back to Stories and Songs with the Down East Boys. A few weeks back, we had a special guest that we just fell in love with. Man, we become good friends, love his music and singing. And so he's back today, Todd Tilgham. Man, we're glad you're with us again.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I hope folks have heard your music. Of course, I told you before, I'm a big fan. Your voice, man, you just like, you got that power, you know, and then you just like can get up there with that little growl, and I'm like, man, how does he do that? How do you do that?
You know, man, I always, when people ask me about the rasp and the growl and stuff, I just say, I grew up singing in little churches that the sound system was basically a glorified karaoke machine, so I kind of ruined my voice, and that's what it is.
So now this is all I got left, man. But it's a kind of a trademark for you, man, really. And of course, when we heard you on The Voice, that's kind of, it just became who you were, personality-wise, I guess. And so I love the voice, love your singing, and we enjoyed the songs you sang last time. We were talking about, you know, your move to Nashville, outside there, and now you're kind of on the road, doing some church work, doing some other things. That you're singing and sharing your music, and you've started writing a lot more, I guess, too.
Yeah, I love it.
Now you're writing in Nashville with a lot of Nashville writers, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. I don't know what classifies you as a Nashville writer, except that you write and you live in Nashville, or you're from Nashville. But yeah, I get to write a ton now, which is, you know, it's weird. It's still, I guess, even now, I've been writing now for, 3 or 4 years, I guess, kind of a lot. And it's still, I still feel like I'm coming into my own with it, but I really, really love it.
You know, I tell people with this program that we've been able to do, Stories and Songs, we stepped back and looked at, you know, a song from our projects each week, or our guests if they came in, you know, what the song, where it came from,
Right.
where the song is now, you know, to put from pen to paper to track to recording to singing on stage. There's a lot of steps that go into the process, but it all starts with the lyric. I've always said over the years when we record, this is 32 years now that I've been out here and singing and recording, we always say it starts with the lyric. As a songwriter, what do you look for in a lyric when you listen to the song the first time? What kind of do you look for specifically? Or do you just say, here's the song, let me take it for what it is?
You know, it depends on, it's almost like my brain sort of compartmentalizes things. So it sort of depends on the kind of song it is and the genre it is, you know. I love, I mean, I'm a sucker for a sad song. I love to hear a good story in a song, but I also love funny songs and stuff. But then on the other hand, faith-based songs and hymns and gospel songs and CCM songs, those, it's always how the message is presented in that song and how uniquely it can come across. Because the truth of the matter is, I mean, this is in, you know, Ecclesiastes or something. I don't want to lie, but it's in the scripture. Nothing's new. It's all been done, you know? So basically every song is our perspective on a subject that's already been
perspective in life, or perspective from what you took from a verse. Everybody can, you know, I can read a verse today and it'll mean something different today than it did yesterday. And so, you know, as a writer, I know I've listened to your projects on iTunes.
Thank you.
And I love the songs, but I don't know who wrote all the songs. But you and I were talking about a specific song, and when I asked you about it, you said, hey, I actually had a hand in writing that song. Is that, I have to say, is that one of your favorite songs you've ever written? Or is it
it is. So I went into a couple of great friends that I write a ton with now. Lance Carpenter is one of them, and Kelly Johnson is the other one, and me. We scheduled a write, and I'm scared I'm lying, but I'm pretty sure it was the first time I had written with those two together. And so when I went in, you know, I don't know how y'all do it, but usually, unless someone says, like, text, like I texted on the way here some writers and I said, hey, I have an idea. Unless that happens and you go in with the idea, usually you just bounce around ideas and land on one, you know. And so Lance said, I had this idea that's a play on Rome wasn't built in a day, but instead it's home wasn't built in a day, you know. And so we all loved the idea. So we started writing kind of the growth of a family. But before the day was over, we had written my story, me and my wife and my kids. We got married and moved into the garage apartment over her grandma's garage.
Wow.
And you know, and it's one of those, I believe it's Proverbs says, don't despise the day of small beginnings, you know, and it's a small beginning song. Don't despise that, how, you know, we started back then and now here we are almost 25 years later and 8 kids in, and all of this stuff has happened.
And you look at life and you say, man, here's where I started, here's where it's taken me to. I'm sure you're like me. You look back and say, man, there's probably some things I should have done differently.
100%.
But if you do that, your path changes.
That's right.
I tell my kids every day, the decisions you make today will impact your life and people around you's lives forever. And so I don't know that I'd want to go back. I just say learn from it.
That's right.
Learn from it. This song is about your life. It's about your journey.
Every word is true.
And I love the song, and I want you to share it with us. I think our folks are going to love this today. The story behind the song is, man, it's your life specifically. So, hey, share the song with us. We love you. Thanks for being here today. Folks are going to love this song. Here's my buddy, Todd Tilgham.
I appreciate it. In a one-bedroom apartment over her grandma's garage, just a couple crazy kids in love, that's where this story starts. We weren't afraid of nothing, 'cause we didn't have a clue. Some stick-on tiles and a coat of paint, and we turned that house into a home. wasn't built in a day, didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of ups and downs, a lot of wrongs and rights. I did a lot of hanging on when I wanted to let go. It took a lot of years and tears and prayers, but now we know that home wasn't built in a day. The numbers on the mailbox ain't the only thing that changed when you handed me that test and then a book of baby names. It wouldn't be the last time I'd see that glow again. After 2 turned into 3, turned into 4, turned into 10, and filled out home. It wasn't built in a day, didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of ups and downs, a lot of wrongs and rights. You did a lot of hanging on when you wanted to let go. It took a lot of years and tears and prayers, but now we know that home wasn't built in a day. Oh, oh, oh. The days were long, but the years flew by. These pictures on the wall show me why. The story of you and I wasn't built in a day, didn't happen overnight. Took a lot of ups and downs, a lot of wrongs and rights. We did a lot of hanging on when we wanted to let go. It took a lot of years and tears and prayers, but now we know that home wasn't built in a day. It wasn't built in a day. Oh. 17, 2 a.m., 90 miles an hour with a couple of friends. I didn't know it then, but Mama was praying. Must have missed that tree by half an inch. We walked off without a scratch. I guess God heard every word she was saying. You can believe what you want to believe in, but I know why I'm still breathing. Jesus does the saving, Mama says the amens, and I'm just living proof of why they call that grace amazing. I guess Mama's got his ear, 'cause the only reason I'm still here is his blood, my sweat, and her tears. Punching the clock for a couple of bucks, never been closer to giving up. I didn't know it then, but God was moving. 'Cause the same hands that worked too hard and changed the tires on your first car are the same hands now that I hold you with. Jesus does the saving, Mama says the amens, and I'm just living proof of why they call that grace amazing. I guess Mama's got his ear, 'cause the only reason I'm still here is his blood, my sweat, and her tears. Yeah! the saving, Mama says the amens, and I'm just living proof of why they call that grace amazing. I guess Mama's God is here, 'cause the only reason I'm still here is His blood, my sweat, and her tears. His blood, my sweat, and her tears. From that Bible verse in the morning to that last warm kiss goodnight, whether grabbing a shovel or two white knuckles on a wheel at a red light, every waking minute I do what I do for Jesus and you. Got this draw down in Mississippi, bought these boots up in Tennessee, cut my teeth on them redback songs. Now all I wanna do is sing. I know it took a truckload of grace to lead me to Jesus and you. I can always count on Jesus and you. And you got handprints on white paper taped to my icebox door. Hear the pitter and patter, house full of laughter. Who could ask for anything more? Faces on my dash and a cross on my rear view.
Welcome back to Stories and Songs with the Down East Boys. Man, what an awesome day. Todd Tilgham singing. He's from Mississippi, and you're from Mississippi.
He's from Meridian. I'm from Booneville. That's just north of him.
Just north there a little bit. And, man, what a great singer. And Home Wasn't Built in a Day. Wasn't that a great song? I love the story behind it. It basically encompasses his story. Yeah, his story, his life. And, man, what a great song. Todd, thanks for being here today, man. It was awesome, and we appreciate it. Hey, that's Alex, Caden, Doug. I'm Ricky. We're the Down East Boys. ToddTOfficial.com, DownEastBoys.com, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, iTunes. We're on all those platforms. So, man, it's just been great to be with you today. Hope you enjoyed the program. We're going to do a song. I love this song, by the way. Rodney Griffin our good friend with Greater Vision, wrote this song, and Barbara Huffman from out in Missouri. And when they sent it to us, we were like, man, that's an awesome song. And we've sung it so much here at the turn of the year because it's on our brand new project. And I love this song, man. You're gonna do this.
Try my best.
I want you to sing it, man. I love it. It's called Celebration at the Empty Grave. This for you guys. We'll see you next week.
I hear there's talk all over town. Something big is going down. A marvel everybody wants to see. They've heard about an empty tomb. They're wondering, could this be true? And if it is, what does this really mean?
So they come from every walk of life just to catch a glimpse inside, unaware they'll never be the same. Once you've seen the living proof, realize what God can do, the tomb becomes a hallelujah place.
So let's go celebrate at that empty grave. Let's stand in awe because of all he is. He's alive and well. His story's mine to tell. Our Lord is great and greatly to be praised. So we stand here amazed as we join the celebration at the empty grave.
There with hearts of thanks for the changes he has made, the healed, the whole, the broken now restored. Our fear has been replaced by peace, and hope is our resounding theme that echoes from the place that held our Lord.
So let's go celebrate at that empty grave. Let's stand in awe because of all he is. He's alive and well, and his story's mine to tell. Our Lord is great and greatly to be praised. So we stand here amazed as we join the celebration at the empty grave. Let's go celebrate at that empty grave. Let's stand in awe because of all he is. He's alive and well. His story's mine to tell. Our Lord is great and greatly to be praised. The celebration at the empty grave. So we stand here amazed as we join the celebration